So that way I can go back and edit it. What's up, everyone? This is your boy Jonathan Lacey, and we're back with another episode of the Laced Up Podcast. I'm joined by my beautiful wife, Rachel, and we're here with another episode, guys. So before we get started, guys, make sure if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you're listening to this in your car, or Amazon, whatever, make sure you're following the podcast, guys. All right, let's help the podcast grow, and let's get to it, man. All right, so this episode is going to be something that I feel like I think both millennials and people there are like
I think the Generation
40,
X.
Yeah, Generation X and the
Generation
boomers
Y,
and the boomers. All right, because I feel like all of them are gonna probably need to hear this, and I think it's gonna hit on everything that all of them need to hear. So like Rachel, what were a couple of the things that I guess you wanted to hit on with this?
Yeah, so this actually came from one of our listeners, one of our viewers, Diana Kroll. So I just want to start off with, guys, your voice and your opinion matters. So if you want us to talk about something, or you want to hear something, or you want to hear our opinion, seriously reach out just like Diana did. And look, we're covering the topic. This is the topic of our show. So or if you want to be on the show and you want to talk with us, then we would welcome you as a viewer, as a co-host. We would love to do that. So I just wanted to give credit where credit's due. So Diana brought the topic of millennials, and just, are millennials as lazy as people say, or is this a generational, what are the generations thinking? And we want to come at it at a perspective of, we are indeed millennials, but we also work our asses off. We're not your, I don't know, quote unquote typical millennials. But I think that millennials get this rep that's I don't think
it's unfair.
Yeah, an unfair rep. And we were just talking about just how our generation is designed. So what are your thoughts? Like, I personally feel like the generation before us was super hands-on. They did everything themselves. But I personally feel like a lot of them didn't have the patience enough to teach us, and then they would get angry or explosive and then wonder why we're so stupid or why we can't do some of the things that they do. But I think if you're really wondering, I mean, a lot of things are passed from generation to generation, so why didn't the past generation take the time and patience to teach us?
So, I mean, really, I can even kind of speak from my personal experience. Like, my dad, black and Cuban, man, like, he's not, like, the patience on this man is very thin. He really, like, he didn't have the patience enough to really, teach me things like how to work with my hands. And I just remember one time he was like, "Well, Jonathan, hope you can make money with your with your brain one day, because like he said, he ain't gonna do shit with your hands." And so, but dude, like I just feel like, honestly,
but that's setting a tone right there, like
but
you said.
like, exactly. But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's a good example of like the generation like before us. Like, a lot of them are not patient. A lot of them aren't patient, and there are some that are, and I mean, look at them, like, they're very versatile in what they can do, because they have the patience to learn. But I think, like, our generation, we get called lazy, or we don't have a quote unquote real job. Like, you look at, really, like, let's look at esports right now. That's like one of the biggest industries right now. It's booming. I know one of the guys I went to college with, he literally is on Phase Clean and stuff, and that's like, or Phase Clan, my bad, and that's like one of the probably the biggest esports industry out there, and literally he was on a yacht with Lil Yachty. Like, that's crazy. This dude was in Lynchburg, Virginia, and he was on a yacht with Lil Yachty, man. So like, like shout out to Jordan, man. But like it's crazy to just sit here and just see how really I feel like our generation has opened up the doors for many people with who may not be great with their hands, but like let's look at like the future is going to be technology, digital, as you literally see this, like it's a good example. And really like you're using your creativity to build a passive stream of income. And I feel like this is just grazing the surface. Like we're going to open up the doors for so many other people. And I mean, really look at Elon Musk. This dude, literally, he invented an electric car, and now it's one of the biggest things. And like, I bet you people called him stupid when he had that, you know. So
I also feel like the past generation, if we are working, like I just feel like the job market out there is really, really difficult. And I know that there are tons of like jobs that are, that like you can look at all the signs, but they're entry level jobs. Like, I feel like the milestones that we're expected to meet at certain stages, like I feel like the past generations has put these markers on us and required us to get married at a certain age, have kids at a certain age, be at a certain level income, have a house. Like these things that I just feel like are not in our reach. A lot of us, I feel like a career is a priority to us, but I feel like in now generate like in the times now you have to have an entry level job, and we're all facing student loans, or a lot of us are facing student loans, but it's because a lot of us did not feel comfortable or didn't want to work with our hands, and just because we chose a different path we're getting penalized. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't pay back our student loans, because you know what, that's the path we chose, and that's totally fine. But those of us that did choose an education route and want to do that, the job levels that we are going straight into is an entry level, and at that entry level you have to have experience. They're requiring you experience, and if you don't have experience then you can't get the job, and without the job you can't get the experience. So it's just this vicious circle, of for those of us that have chosen an education and have chosen, we're only making, I mean right now you can make $14 at McDonald's or Wendy's or
yeah,
Dunkin's,
that's wild.
and we're all working as teachers and paras in schools, and they're making $14-15 an hour. How does that, why does that doesn't make
No,
sense?
it does not make sense at all.
Why aren't these paras making at least $20 an hour? Why aren't these workers, these social workers? Let's
Yeah,
hear it for the
social.
social
Yeah,
workers.
shout out to all the social workers out there because y'all don't get
They don't get
definitely
paid
don't get paid enough.
anything. State workers, I mean, a lot of them start off at $23,000.
Yep.
I mean, here in New Hampshire, rent is $15, $16, $17, $1,800 a month.
I've seen 3,800 even.
So tell me, how is any type of family or any type of up and coming couple supposed to make it on a $24,000 budget, entry level, like you're all requiring us to do, and then try to make it?
Yeah.
With the benchmarks, how are we supposed to get married? How are we supposed to own a house? How is that possible? If
Yeah.
anybody has the wisdom, please share.
Yeah, like because I feel like it almost feels like unrealistic expectations. And of course, with any big thing that you do in life, like I say, like any big job, like you guys, you have to have the experience. But everybody was like, oh, you gotta at least have this, you gotta at least have that. And it's just like, all right, well, how you expect me to get that experience when like this is literally like it's supposed to be like a entry level job and emphasis on entry.
They require you at
Yeah.
least 2 years.
Yeah, at least 2 years. And it's just like, well, how is this an entry level job when I'm supposed to have 2 years of this? So like I feel like the generation has definitely put I don't know, almost like unrealistic expectations, and especially with times that have moved over, like back then. I mean, we were even talking about this yesterday. Like you look at like a burger at McDonald's used to be like what 15 cents maybe or something like that. And now like just a single burger is probably like $3 now, if not more. And so like everything is going to change over time. But you look at now with jobs where you used to be able just to walk in and just say, hey, I'm a young kid off the street. Like, I just want to work hard and make a living doing this. You used to be able to do that. But now,
Everything's through
like,
paper
yeah, everything is
or
all you got.
digital
You got to
online.
have this, you got to have that. And it's just like, look, dude, I mean, at this point, we're going to be real too. No one wants to work in America right now. Like, that's why we see so many jobs available and no one wants to work, but yet we're still requiring these people to have unrealistic experience for an entry level job. And I feel that it's just is at the point now where it's like, do you actually want employees, or do you want the like that, I don't know, like that mythical that mythical employee, you know what I'm saying?
And I don't think that there's anything wrong with people who want to work with their hands.
No.
I genuinely believe that everybody is designed so differently. Like the school that I work at, a lot of my kids are going to be people who work in trades, who work with their hands. You know what? Not everybody's designed to work with their brain, and that's okay too. Like I think that our generation opened up the ability and the I don't know, expectations the right word, but open they had opportunity to expand, whether they were really good at digital, they were good with their minds, they were good with art. That became more accepted, and not just these people who are working with their hands, who go into trades. And but I think as working in a school system, I encourage my kids to follow their strengths and what they want to do and what they're interested in. I have some kids that are interested in automotive, while I have others who want to be bioengineers.
Yep.
And the world requires all types of people for it to go around. So I don't think that all people are choosing to go to school. I think that a lot of this generation has chosen to go to school because they've had the opportunity to.
Yeah. And I mean, and I want to say this too, kind of like just add on what you were saying. Like, I feel like our generation, we're stubborn, and that's why when someone told us that, oh, you guys are ridiculous, that's not a real job, that doesn't exist, and we said, oh, really? Okay, and then we go and create our own job and look at it now. Like, you literally can play video games for a living and make millions of dollars doing it. Like that's crazy to think about. Because like if you told me if you had told my mother that back in 2003, she would have laughed at you and said, "Yeah, okay, like whatever."
Yeah.
But literally, anything is possible, and I feel like that's why I was just saying, like, I feel like we are a creative generation.
Yeah.
We are a creative thinkers. We are creative doers. Like we do not take no for an answer. And I feel like that we're put in such a position now where things may seem I don't know, kind of weary, especially like financially. I will say this, and this isn't just millennials. Like, this is like 70-80% of America. Like, we suck with money.
Mm,
We suck with money
yeah.
because
I agree with that.
like we haven't um we weren't taught
Mm.
in school how to really handle money. Like, I thank God my mother taught me how to write a check, because there's a lot of people my age that don't know how to write checks.
Or don't even know what a check is.
Or yeah, don't know what a check is, or how to balance a checkbook. Um, but like, we're going to be honest too, though, our parents and our grandparents, like we weren't taught how money works. We weren't taught of how investing in the stocks. And like even now, like I'm learning about investing in stocks because I just feel like and I told Rachel this, I want to break that generational like just living paycheck to paycheck and stuff. Like I want to build like financial wealth for my family, and I don't want to be able to tell my daughter like, oh no, daddy can't buy that because he can't afford it. Like I wanted to be able, I can tell her no and say, hey, like daddy can't afford this, but I'm not going to buy it because like I think we can use it.
You don't need that.
Yeah, you don't need it. So like but that's like that's
That's
the
the clear
difference.
difference.
Yeah, it's the clear difference. You can afford it, but do you want it or do you need it?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so like,
That's hilarious.
and it's but it's true. It's true. And I think a lot of us we try to ball, and I can speak for myself. We try to uphold this position that, oh, like I'm balling, like I'm making this amount of money. Like, nah, dude, like sit your ass down, bro. Like like get your stuff together. And like I'm thankful like we actually like created a budget, and like we're still like, of course, still trying to like adjust to it and stuff because you like got to break old habits. But
Well, we have really gone. We both work hard. We both work full-time jobs. When we have the opportunity, we do side hustles.
yeah,
We DoorDash or Instacart. Jonathan does personal training on the side. It's we don't just sit around, but you know what? We literally are still living paycheck to paycheck. And you would look at us and consider us not the average millennial, because we do work hard. We both work over 40 hours a week.
yeah,
But you know what? Why am I paying so much just to survive? Um, to me, that's just a little crazy. I feel like just economically, the inflation in the market is so crazy that it requires so much more of you, um, to just be able to make it.
yeah.
So that's, I don't know. That's just my 2 cents
And
about that.
no, like, and I think this is something too that we need to talk about with this group, like with the millennials especially, because I feel like millennials have definitely taken charge of their finances for sure, and you're starting to see millionaires pop up left and right
Mm-hmm.
that are working 9 to 5 jobs,
Mm-hmm.
and it is possible, but like obviously like you just like you have to learn and stuff, just the different um like the methods and stuff that have gone into that, and the discipline of not spending your money on like senseless things that are going to only last for this much in your life, and if there's anyone out there that would love to come on, and that's a financial advisor or anything like that, like I would love for you to come on, and we can chop it up with the for the laced up community and just really dive into this too, because I feel like there's a lot of people out here that want to really succeed with their finances, but they just don't know where to start, or they're just too embarrassed to really ask. So like don't feel alone, guys. Like we're all in this together.
Ain't
Like,
that the truth?
shout out to High School Musical, man. But
I also feel like I would love, when we talked about is marriage necessary, a lot
For
of
sure.
people actually commented
Yep.
on the video, and I think it would be awesome if people really commented and said, are like, I want to know, do people feel like, are there unrealistic expectations on this generation, or do you feel that the prior generations just being, I don't want to say quote unquote mean, because then you're going to call me a millennial for being sensitive. But I feel like, okay, side note, this is a great bar. I feel like the older generation thinks that we're too sensitive, but I don't think that's true. I think we recognize that we are human beings, and we have emotions, and we have feelings, and we understand that mental health is a real thing. And I don't think that the older generation recognizes it. I think that they just bury it, and you wonder why you're angry, stubborn little
Yeah,
people.
right.
Like,
That's facts. That's
so
facts.
older generation, recognize your mental health. Recognize that it's okay to pause and know that you're not okay. Recognize that seeking help is okay. To feel sad and feel your emotions and actually feel like a human being is okay. Like, recognize that. Like, I feel like if you just hold all those feelings and emotions and being quote unquote too sensitive, I feel like you are going to hold all this bitterness and all of these emotions in, and I think it's actually really going to harm you in
Yeah.
the long run.
Like and that's so true. And like, and I feel like this is like, especially for men, like,
Mm-hmm.
dude, it's not showing weakness by saying like, hey, this makes me feel angry, this makes me feel sad, this makes me feel um like whatever emotion you may be feeling in that moment. It doesn't make you feel weak. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you um you know really sensitive or anything. Like I feel like the you become weak when you are so stubborn and egotistic to the point that you're saying like, oh, like, I don't feel anything. You don't make like you don't do this. And it's like, all right, dude. Like you having that big of a reaction, it obviously is making you feel some type of way. And I feel like once you can actually recognize those emotions, like dude, like it's so such a key component in really like your mental health, guys. Because I'm telling you, your brain, that is probably the most important muscle in your body, guys. And I feel like we don't really exercise it enough. Like Rachel and I, like we love to read. I'm a book junkie, and it's so funny because like the guys I coach with, they were like, "Oh, like I can't read, man. Like John, why you like to read?" And I'm just like, "You guys haven't found the right book yet. That's it. And that's as simple as that. Like you guys just haven't found the right book because like, I feel that the biggest component, guys, is that we're sometimes we're afraid to go in our brain. We're so afraid to be alone with our thoughts because it can be a scary place. But I'm telling you guys, like I think like, I can speak for me personally, and everyone's different. I completely recognize that. But for me personally, like I've said this in the past, when Rachel left to go to Florida and see her best friend Sawyer, and shout out to Sawyer because I know she's gonna watch this, and I feel like that gave me enough time to really look at myself and acknowledge that I'm not where I wanted to be, and like I had hard feelings about being here in New Hampshire, and I kept pointing the finger at everybody else but me, and I really that those 3 days I was able to recognize like, all right, dude, it's like, what's the common denominator? It was me. I was the problem. My attitude was the problem. And I'm telling you guys, it's okay. Like you have to be real enough with yourself to say, hey, if I'm starting to run into the same problem with different people, it's probably not the people. It's probably you. All right.
So can we say that about the other generations? Why do they keep pointing their fingers at us and saying it's us, it's us, it's us? But why don't we look at the starting point of who taught us and who led us
Yeah.
and who? So I'm like, who's? I don't think that necessarily anybody's the problem, but why are we pointing fingers so hard?
Right.
Like, it's fine to be different. I just think our generation's different. And we have different lifestyles, we have different choices, and just because you like avocado toast doesn't make you a really crappy millennial who's lazy and is just living at mom and dad's basement. We're living in mom and dad's basement because we can't afford to own our own house, because we can't afford a mortgage with our entry level job that we got because we can't get experience.
And we rather not go into even more depth of collecting a mortgage, guys. So like, I've to be real with you guys, I want to say this, because like,
why'd you look at me like
nah,
that?
cause I'm gonna share like what's going on. Like, so you and I, we're gonna have to move out of here, you know, and like we've only been here for 2 or 3 months, maybe.
And this was totally out of our control.
Yeah, and right, and like, and of course, you know, like we're gonna have to go live back with her parents, and like, and that's fine though. Like, I feel like many of us, like we hear the really this, like the social norm. Oh, you're living with your in-laws. Oh my God. And I just want to say, like I told my mother-in-law this last night. Like I really,
cry.
yeah, like but in a good way. Not, I didn't say a douchey thing, but make her cry. But like, I really lucked out with awesome in-laws, guys. Like, and they have been nothing but supportive. And I just want to say, like, thank you guys for everything, and really, you know, being able to like just put a roof over our heads for this moment in our life, guys. And like, for the people out there that are going through the same thing, like, dude, you're not a low life. You're not worthless. You're not screwing up. Like, you're doing what's best for you and your family, guys. Like, if you're a couple living with your in-laws, don't take that personal, guys. All right, like, you're doing it, guys, and like, you're making it. So like, just keep grinding, guys, and we're gonna keep giving you guys the content. All right.
I think there's a lot to give, but I think like this episode specifically, we really wanted to touch on just our generation and just these stereotypes that people have put on us. That I just wanted to expand and touch on some of these things that I don't think are real. Like, I love pumpkin candles. I have one going on right now.
Yeah, she do. Yeah, she does.
So like, but just because we like certain things or we spend less money on our furniture because we can buy it on a yard sale page, like, it doesn't make us horrible people. Like, or lazy
balling on
people.
A budget.
Yeah, I just think we're just trying to be reasonable with our finances because I think it's slim pickings and we're just trying to make it. Yep. Just like everybody else.
Yeah, it's coming, guys. Like, keep your head down, keep going, man. And
we're grinding right next
like,
to
guys,
you.
Yeah, seriously. And guys, pick up. I want to say this. Just like, pick up a book and just like read, learn what you want to learn about, guys. You don't have to read a book that a person tells you, oh, you read this because of this. No, like, read what you want to read, guys. All right, like, and just learn, just learn, keep learning and be creative. That's what I'm saying. Cause like, it could spark, like, and Busta Rhymes said this on the Drink Champs episode. He said the best way to hide something is put it in front of somebody. And we have all these resources and books in front of us, guys, but none of us pick it up because, oh, I don't like to read. Oh, I don't like, guys, it's the best thing you can do for your brain, and do it for yourself, guys. All right. So like, I'm telling you, you pick up that right book, you just find the right one. It could spark an idea in you guys. All right. So, thank you guys for listening, and make sure leave a thumbs up
or
and comment below.
Back to
yeah,
us.
I want to hear what you guys got to say, man. So, thank you guys for watching this.
Make sure to subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, you better be subscribed, man. All right. I don't want to come out there and get y'all. All right. All right. Hey, look, I love y'all, man. So y'all be good. Peace.